go. They wanted to leave a bit early, and I kept saying to them, hold on, because it was, and I sought to address it. I spoke with Basil Williams, I spoke with Nicolette Henry, I even raised it with Dominic Gaskin. He said to me, I'm in the same boat, but eventually a seat was found for him. And so that was the thing. It was the moment, but it had nothing to do with that. Yes. Yes. Yeah, sure.
In relation to the Nigel Daramlal IDP issues, Mr. Rohi was met with Mr. Daramlal yesterday. Haven't been briefed as yet on any of the things that transpired?
We have our executive meeting on Friday, so I suspect Rohi will, at that meeting, brief us about the nature of the conversation they had.
Well, as leader of your party in National Assembly, of which Mr. Daramlal is a member of the Assembly,
Yeah.
I mean, do you have any reservations as to what you will consider his position in the House?
I will listen carefully to the issue. Apparently, the file is gone to the DPP, and so he has been advised. He's been advised by his lawyer not to say anything because it may be prejudicial to what takes place in the DPP's chambers. The matter is now going to, I guess we'll hear from the DPP's chambers soon. And therefore, we will return to this matter at some point in time when it's not in this delicate stage where it can influence what the DPP has said. But clearly, he has to give solid explanations, believable explanations to the executive of the party and to us. He has to give those because it is a serious matter. The allegations are serious. The allegations are serious.
Sir, that the files with the DPP, I mean, one that shows the severity of the issue. When you look at other cases regarding...
No. Let's do with that one. The file is with the DPP, which says it's the severity of the issue. Barry Ramsaran file was with the DPP, and he's charged for something like abusive language. I was hoping that abusive language. Yeah. So okay, all right. Let's go on then. Because people have different perspectives on these things. But apparently, now it's came out that the threat, the so-called threat, because they said it was a threat made against a young lady in Barbies, but she was not in the earshot, like close by to hear the threat. So that's why it changed. But yeah, go on. Sure. Yeah.
As Ms. Westford, do you think it speaks to your party's position possibly on how to deal with these issues?
Yeah.
Will still sit in the National Assembly
Yeah.
even though they're before the courts?
Yes. No. I think we have a clear position. If the government finds any act, that's relation, because you mentioned former Minister Westford. We have made it clear in all of the audits. Anytime you find anyone who is corrupt or has broken the law, they should charge these people. The state should proceed to lay charges against them. They will have to use the mechanism of the court to establish whether they're innocent or not. And the reason why we have a greater confidence in the court than in the government being fair. Because if you look at the audits, how they started, the partisan people were selected to do many of the audits. Many of the audits read like the APNU manifesto. They read like, sensationalizing issues without following. There are clear accounting conventions that you have to follow. They depart radically from those. And one of the primary things is that you should give people a chance to respond to the allegations made. You know, a management letter. When you finish an audit, you then send something to management and say, here are our findings, and we want you to respond to these findings. In many cases, people have responded, and there is no account taken of the response. They've given explanations for various things, and many of the explanations may make the original finding laughable in the first place. Secondly, many have not been given that opportunity. Many have not been given. And so I have asked that they publish all the audits that have been done, and to them, like, give it out to the media, and give the response of the agencies to the audit queries. Then the media could form a balanced opinion. They can still proceed with the charges if they want, because that's a subjective thing and they'll send it up forward. But I have grave concerns about how some of these investigations are done. And that's why I've asked for foreign or non-partisan people to do the investigations. And I'm not going to move people just like that because of what I see as allegations. Allegations, when just like that. There are many, many allegations, almost on a daily basis about me. On a daily basis, you see these allegations. Now it's time to prove these allegations. It's put up or shut up. And I have argued that one way of putting up was to agree to our motion in Parliament. Let us make public our tax records and our 10 years of our assets that we declared, so the whole country will see it. And another way is to launch an international investigation into former presidents, all members of Parliament, not just ours, everyone, so it's seen as non-partisan, who have assets abroad, bank accounts abroad, etc. And I saw the president said the bulk of the corruption is in the private sector now. So you saw what he said, that the most of it is in the private sector. So let us examine people who run public companies. Forget the private companies for the time being, because those are, you can go after them for tax evasion. But the public companies, the state has a fiduciary duty to protect small shareholders. And therefore, let us look at the public companies in Guyana that have all of these bank accounts and companies set up in low tax or no tax jurisdiction. Why aren't we doing much about that too? So I've asked for an international investigation of that. We can call in Interpol, or let's hire an international group. You can pay them and say, we give you a flat fee of $1 million US, and you will get, and you will get, because we spent much more on other things. And remember, they said we stashed billions abroad, so spending $1 million to find billions is not a bad investment. And so spend $1 million US to do that, and then say you get a percentage of what you find, right? So I've been calling on that. That's where you put up or shut up. And not to say, oh, there is no evidence, or like Ramjatan said now, oh, the witnesses don't want to come forward. They're afraid. Oh, they're afraid of the PVP. They were never afraid when you're in office. You know, so my argument now about these corruption issues is put up or shut up. And you know, they will find that all, and this is why the president should have asked Gulsaran at his book launching that for so many years you've been arguing that close to $28–30 billion a year were stolen from public procurement. I will give you $1 billion to save $27 billion. I'll give you $1 billion in salary. now, to find $27 billion that was stolen annually by the PPP. And put him and Clive Thomas and give them the $1 billion, because they've been writing a lot about this. These are the same ones who've been estimating how much drug proceeds are flowing through the economy. So it's, their figures are simply not credible. And now, so there's a big back down from all of this. And I have, anyhow, let me don't go on too much on that, because I want to come on the economy if one of you will ask me separately a question about that. So, because I was switching to the economy about how the same denial kind of syndrome is in the economy. So, yes, please.
No, continue speaking, I think you.
Yeah.
I just want to ask about two things. One being, several years ago, under the PPP administration, they were talking about the phasing out of the $1 and $5 funds. And we hear the Bank of
Yeah.
recently saying that this is something that they are going to look at.
Yeah.
I want to ask about the implications of doing that, if any at all.
Yeah,
what
sure.
it really means. And the other thing, the commissioner, the report from the commission requiring income increases to be handled with the president today that was done already. Are you interested in that at all in time?
As leader of the opposition, I have to be interested in the findings. I believe the whole approach to the prisons by this administration lacks coherence. I believe that it is reflective of the same sort of incompetence that they demonstrate in the economy. I believe that Minister Ramjatan is clueless, not just Jordan, but this clueless word is popping up everywhere almost, is clueless about what to do in the security sector, in the criminal justice system. So I see he's continuing the largest project that this minister has in the budget is a $15 million project that the PPP left him, negotiated with the IDB. That's the biggest project they have now. That's what this government has in that sector. But it started off with the lack of transparency surrounding the release of prisoners. That's one. Large numbers of prisoners being released. We don't know